685. I just want to let you know that today I was able to do a very special treat. I was able to interview Brooke Noska, who was one of the producers at the Orville television series. And so, without further ado, let's watch the interview together. Enjoy! Hello, everyone. I'm Alicia. I'm joined today by Brooke Noska, one of the producers of Orville. Hello, Brooke.
Hello.
So, I got a couple questions for you. My first question is, what is one of your favorite experiences while working on the Orville series?
I think my most favorite experience is all the collaboration that we get with all the people that work on it. We're such a huge show, and no episode is the same, and no department is the same either. And I think
Mm-hmm.
we just get to used to bump into rub elbows with everybody, and it was just such a big family and had so many stories, and there's so many people from so many different backgrounds. So I think the coolest thing about our show is just how we have brought those people together and how we successfully worked and provide such an awesome show together.
Very cool. So, were you a sci-fi fan prior to working on the series by any chance?
Was I a who? Was I a who fan?
A sci-fi, like a science fiction fan.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I thought you said a Scott Grimes fan, and I was like, I love Scott Grimes.
I like Scott Grimes too.
I was more of a comedy fan than sci-fi.
Okay.
I'm gonna be totally honest. I think the most sci-fi thing I've ever been a fan of is Spaceballs. And
that
a sprinkling of Star Wars. But I love comedy, and I love comedy. I love to laugh. Yeah, it's like a free workout.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay, so what do you like to do when you're not working on the Orville by any chance? I know some people like to do cooking, some like video games. What do you exactly like to do?
I like to eat. That's pretty good. It's a pretty good hobby that I have. Drinking is a second one. But yeah, no,
okay.
Yeah, that's not really done me too dirty. No, just kidding. I don't like. I don't really have any hobbies. Yeah, no, I like to hang out with my dog. He's pretty cool.
Okay. That's always good company. He's probably better than some of the actual human beings too nowadays, for sure.
He's definitely a little bit more snuggly. That's for sure.
Yeah, and he never judges you. He probably just says, "Just love me."
He gets a little judgy sometimes. If he doesn't get the right food, he's kind of just side-eyeing me yeah. He's okay.
Gotcha. That's cool. So who would you like to work with if you could choose to work with anybody of all these different people? I mean, some people say George Lucas, some say William Shatner. Is there anybody that you really want to work with that you haven't worked with yet?
Oh my gosh, Betty White is my ultimate hero. I think she's just the coolest lady ever. There's so much history, and I'm sure she has amazing stories. I could just sit with her and hang out all day.
Nice.
Yeah, I really hope that before the world takes her, I can get adopted, and that would be awesome.
That'd be cool for her to maybe be on Orville, because I know some of us fans were saying, you know what, we'd like to see Betty White maybe as Gordon's grandmother, mom kind of type. So
oh my gosh, I've tried to sneak her into so many conversations where I'm like, hey, wouldn't this be a good idea? And they're like, what? And I'm like, come on.
Come on, do it. She's an icon. She's one of our last icons.
Yeah, I always try to get her and Cher in there. I'm like, I think Cher would be super cool too.
That would be really cool. Yeah, say, when you believe.
I was like, she was on Moonraker.
Yeah, Moonstruck. Yeah,
Moonstruck. That was yours. Not Moonraker. That's a James Bond film.
Yes. So let me ask you this one. This is a little bit more lighthearted. Do you believe in aliens, or do you think they're real, or do you think they're just something, a figment of an imagination?
Oh my gosh. I mean, we're here. I can't imagine that there's not another being out there. Like, are they green and have huge eyes and like want to probe us? Probably not. But I'm like pretty sure that there's like something hanging out there that like we don't know about. I mean, even in our show, like we talk about how like vast our galaxy is. Like, there's no way. Like, we're just like a little tiny speck in like the existence. So of course there's something out there. Now, are they super interested in our tiny speck? Probably not. But like,
Yeah,
I'm sure they're out there.
Skip. Kind of go, we skip over channel saying, okay, I've seen this one, I've seen this one. There's I say, do I want to go there? Nah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we've seen this one. Never mind. We're just gonna drive over it. And we're like, no.
I think it was Stargate episode. They said we were looking for intelligent life, and like Colonel O'Neill saying, like, well, you didn't find it here.
It's too true.
Okay, so who would you say is the most practical joker on the set of Orville by any chance? Is there anyone that comes to mind as the most practical joker of all the people?
I mean, I think it's a toss up between Scott, Peter, and like the dueling power of Seth and Kassar. Like, I think they would. I think if they were like on a dodgeball team, like Scott and Peter, and then like Seth and Kassar, like that would be an interesting like little tag.
That would be a very interesting.
Yeah, there's been a lot of
with that. Say, hey, let's make this happen.
And then like I think the wild card would probably be Penny. Penny likes to sneak in there and be sassy sometimes, which is always a great laugh.
Maybe the referee say, okay, you two over there, and I'm going to judge who's the best of the practical jokers. Okay, so of all the characters in Orville, now you can say male or female on this one. Is there any character that is a lot like you?
I want to say that I probably identify most with Yaphet. He's like the coolest. I feel like yeah, he's got a sense of humor, but he's also like secretly smart. And in a lot of situations, I find myself kind of like becoming a chameleon and like, adapting into situations. And he's very, jiggly wiggly, and he can adapt into different shapes, sizes, and situations too. So yeah, I'd say Yaphet would probably be most like me, or I'd be most like him.
Okay, so you're saying you're flexible to whatever you want to do. You're willing to blend into your surroundings.
Yeah, and I hang out with a lot of green all day long, so
Wow, that's crazy. Okay, does green have to be one of your favorite colors? I'm just curious.
Oh no, it's just because there's a lot of green screens around.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I have green. See, what I'm using right now is green screen effects. So I said, you know what? Let me do this. I like this green. But of course, I like blue, so I said, okay, I'll go with this. Next question: which alien race would you prefer more? The Mocklins, the Krill, the Kalon, or some other one?
Which ones do I prefer more? I mean, the Mocklins are some sexy beasts, and the Kalons are like kind of cool. Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I think the Zelayans are pretty cool. Like, and,
okay, yeah.
They're strong, and like they seem to be like pretty dope chicks that I could hang out with, and then it'd be like a pretty cool asset on the ship. So yeah, I think the Zelayans and the humans are pretty cool.
Yeah, they're pretty badass. Pretty badass for a girl to say, "Hey, it's okay to be a badass girl."
yeah, we're strong too, guys.
Yeah, don't underestimate us. We may not look sexy, but you know what? We're strong.
And check out all of our eyebrows; they're awesome.
Yeah, that's true. They'll arm wrestle you and break your bones without even thinking. Like, okay. Next. All right. Next question. What's it like when you see your name in the credits by any chance? Because I know some people look at the credits and say, "Oh, there's my name. There's me. There's me. See. What's it like for you?
Oh my gosh. It's always exciting when it's spelled correctly. It is awesome. And I get excited about it. I obviously like you guys out there in the fandom or like you guys know who we are, but it's kind of cool to like, I don't know, get like our little stamp on there and say, yeah, I'm a part of this. But yeah, I don't know. The credits are always cool. I feel like it's kind of like it's a, it's like a, maybe that's my hobby is like watching credits. I like to see who's
Okay,
like a
yeah,
part
I'll
of
do that
it. And like,
too. Sometimes they
I
have
was,
some.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I was actually watching, it was kind of random, Club Dread the other day, which is like, what, 20 years old
Mhm.
now. And our VFX supervisor over at Fuse Effects, like, was an artist on that. And I was like, is this you? And he's like, oh, yeah, that was so long ago. And I was like, oh my God, like, this is crazy. Like, you were doing Club Dread and now we're working together on this. Like, so yeah, the credits are super exciting and important to me because that's everybody that's like made it. Like it's not just what you see on the screen; it's what's behind the screen too. So yeah,
So you're like saying it's the whole village basically that brought it together, basically.
yeah, everybody works really hard to get like a couple frames on the screen, and I feel like that should be noted.
Of course, because you guys work so hard on these things. I know that.
We
I don't
do,
when I
we
see
do.
my name when I do like gaming kind of things because I'm working on an independent gaming project, and when I see my name in the credits, I'm like, yeah, that's me. See, 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 see. So
Yeah.
yeah, alrighty. What would you say is your main title for working for the Orville crew and everybody? In case somebody was wondering what it is.
Yeah, so I'm the VFX producer, and then I'm also a co VFX supervisor. So I get to dabble my toes into like the creatives just a little bit. Obviously, we have two awesome VFX
Awesome.
supervisors, Brandon Fayette and um, Eric Hayden, and then we have a comp
Yeah.
supervisor, Adam Rothstein, who is like my best buddy. And so me and Adam kind of team up together to like kind of put a finer magnifying glass on the shots, and Adam or Eric and Brandon are kind of the overall creative gurus to put this sucker in space. Because spoiler, we don't shoot it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
but
Eric is awesome. Yes, because
but
I did a
yeah,
freelance interview with him. Yes, he's so nice. I like him a lot.
oh
He
yeah,
really, you
me,
also really. So yes.
yeah.
Okay, so what would you say is one of your most challenging things to do at your job by any chance?
Well, like I love managing. I love doing puzzles, and I think my team is probably one of the larger and most expensive teams on the show because there are so many shots. And
Mm-hmm.
just kind of being a part of that process of being able to manage the internal team, but also like our vendors, and then also being like a puzzle piece into the production and pre-production and making sure that everything all together gets packaged up with a sexy little bow by our team. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
the most challenging part because it is such a large show. Like no joke, we probably have the most visual effects shots in like any television show ever. Like even I think I was looking at some stats that like Batman Dark Knight only had like 1,400 shots, and that's like two of our episodes. Um,
Also,
so
they can't add up. You guys are like up here; they're all down here.
yeah, and I mean, if you look at it, like we're making an hour's worth of content, you know,
Mm-hmm.
multiple episodes. So the most challenging part is like keeping my sanity and making sure that all the pieces are in the right place. But that's also like the
Mm-hmm.
most rewarding part is like when an episode airs and you like successfully check off everything and like rip that post-it down and tear it up. You're like, yes, I did it. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. I don't know.
Cool. So, what was a typical day like before the shutdown happened exactly for you?
Yeah, I mean, a typical day would, wake up in my apartment and end up on a set all day, and then go back to my apartment and sleep, and then do it again. It was a lot of meetings, a lot of in-person meetings,
Mm-hmm.
and just a lot of like, I don't know, strategizing about like what was happening on set that day, what was going to happen throughout the week, what was coming up, what needed to
Mm-hmm.
happen. And then also like digitally building assets, making season 3 even bigger, badder, and better than it was last season. And just like how we're
Mm-hmm.
going to do that. And then also a lot of just like behind the scenes, like me and Fox and Seth, and everybody just kind of talking about like where we are timeline wise and like budgetarily, which is
Mm-hmm.
like a huge, obviously a huge
Yes.
part of like it's all fun to make, but it all costs something and it has to air at some point. So
Right.
yeah,
Of course.
just a lot, again, a lot of just like moving the pieces around and hope that they come out in the wash looking great. And on time
Awesome.
and under budget. So
Yeah, without them saying you're in the red, you owe us money.
yeah, nobody likes a red alert. Not even
No,
behind the
no,
scenes.
no. Red alert is bad. Red alert is bad on anybody's standard, whether you're on a spaceship or you're a crew member.
Yep, yep,
Let's be
no.
Alrighty. Do you have a personal favorite of all the episodes from season 1 or 2? And if you do, which one is it, and why is that one your favorite?
Between 1 and 2. I think season 2 is near and dear because that's when I was brought onto the family.
Uh-huh.
And obviously, like, Emmy nomination battle is freaking awesome because that's
Yes,
like,
that was
that's
epic.
crazy.
Woo!
Yeah, I mean,
Yay.
like, did we think that we were going to beat dragons? No, but like the idea was nice for the couple of months that we were like, oh my god, like
Mm-hmm.
we're in the final five with Game of Thrones and Star Trek, and like we're with all these people. Like, that's so crazy. I know people are always like, oh, it's an honor, but like it really is, and it really was an
Mm-hmm.
honor to like be named out of hundreds and thousands of people that do this on multiple shows, to be recognized and like like you said, like have your name in the credits, like having your name on a piece of paper that says Emmys, like that's crazy. So obviously, yeah, the battle is near and dear to my heart. But I do think that the first episode of the season with Bortus's Sex Lagoon was pretty hilarious, because that was the first time my parents watched the show and they were like, what are you working on? And I was like, you have to wait and see. And they're like, we don't know.
Like, I can't
So
explain it. You have to watch the show, yeah. Because everybody's like, what? What are you looking at?
yeah, I thought it was really funny because that was supposed to originally be the second episode, but that was too close to Christmas, and they were like,
Yeah.
we gotta, like, we just have to get this one out of the way just in case there's families together." So it
Yeah,
became
we
the
don't want
first
it
one.
unexpected Christmas. What we don't want for Christmas is an unexpected Christmas.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, no, I'd say episode 8, the battle, everything that was tied to that experience and after it aired
Mhm.
was freaking amazing. And yeah, it'll always be a highlight memory in my career.
Very cool. So, do you have a favorite prop item of all the items that have been on the show? If so, which one is it and why?
um, um, Prop item. Oh boy,
Yeah,
I don't
it
know.
could be the stun gun, the guy's news. It could be, like I said, almost anything. Even Yappa's
um,
guitar.
oh my gosh. Well, there is like, I mean, obviously, like Yaphet's my man. He When we were on set, we have a stuffy, and it's basically like a green like bean bag that we just kind of put in so that
Okay,
he's
the
there.
representative. Okay.
Yeah, and it's so funny because sometimes he has like a mouth. So sometimes he just like ends up places and you're kind of like, does anybody else see that he's like on top of the crafty area? Like, so I just think he's kind of a fun guy that we use on set, but also like brings cheer off the set too. He's just a
Nice.
cool little
So
guy. I
tell us
mean,
where's Waldo with his Yaphet edition.
yes, where's Waldo Yaphet
I like
edition?
it. I like it.
Yeah, I
That
just
sounds so much fun. You guys should do that as a DVD feature one time. Say, where's Yaphet, the Orville edition?
yeah, it could be like one of those like kids books. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Or a DVD feature, and then if you click the right spot, then you get a special bonus bit, like I don't know, a blooper reel or something. I don't know.
yeah, yeah. I feel like Norm Macdonald's such a cool guy. Yaph is such a green little stud. Like he's got to get more FaceTime, but we'll see.
Yeah, exactly. Because we've only seen him in his face one time, I think, when he was doing Claire, and I was like, okay, who is that talking? And I was like, oh, that's Yaphet. That's what he actually looks like.
Yeah, it was funny when when the shutdown all happened, we were trying to figure out like, well, how are we going to keep on going? And I was like, what if, hear me out, we do an entire like from Yaphet's POV of the ship because he's all
Ooh.
digital, and they were like, absolutely not. And I was like, all right, well, I tried.
Aw, that was worth a shot. That would have been a fun episode or a fun
Yeah,
webisode kind of thing.
like nobody's there. It's just Yaphet, so it's just like, like he's just like roaming around like
Yeah.
hello, and then he like parties on the ship by himself. So yeah, that's
Day in
my
the
that was
life of Sans crew.
yeah, he's like, oh, I guess I like missed a holiday or something. So he's like just hanging out and like he goes on his own
Right,
like little
exactly.
adventures. I think he'd be a great spinoff for like maybe an
They
animated.
would. That would be fun because I'm a little family guy with the point of view of Stewie for the day and everything like that. So yeah, we should do that for Yaphet. Let's make a petition, folks. Yaphet needs a whole day to see from his day. Because we always are wondering, how does Yaphet sleep? How does Yaphet eat? What does Yaphet do?
We need more information.
More Yaphet, please. So, how would you describe the Orville series in your own words? If somebody were to say, well, what is exactly Orville? Why should I check it out? Obviously, you work on it, but why should I check it out?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Orville is a it's it's exploratory not only out in space but within its crew on the ship as well. You're exploring all these different like corners, nooks, and crannies of like places that we've never been, whether it be scientifically accurate or fantastic fantasyly
Oh,
accurate,
fantastic.
fantastically accurate. So like you're going all these really cool places, and a lot of the places that we go to, like we reach out to NASA, we reach out to Andre Bormanis, like we reach out to all of our like space friends, and we're like, would this be something that exists? And like, so all the things that you guys are seeing are things that are potentially out there. So I think that it's really
Okay.
cool that like we're not only exploring out into the galaxy, but we're also exploring like the different relationships that everybody has, whether wherever you work at, personal or otherwise, in your home, which happens to be also on a spaceship. So yeah, it's a lot
Mhm.
of external and internal exploring, with a hint of comedy, a couple fart jokes, and like some serious hard hitting things that like we should talk about, but like nobody really wants to talk about. But if you like, you can get it.
Very cool. I like the way you described it. But that's cool that you guys get to team up with NASA and stuff like that. So, do you actually talk to them, like, say, via Skype or Zoom and say, hey, we're doing this episode. We want to create, say, like a black hole or a planet that so called just disappeared and lost its moon? How did
Yeah,
you have that over?
I mean, like we had the most awesome opportunity to go to like the Houston headquarters, which was super cool.
Wow.
And we got to see the astronauts. And they like did this really cool, awesome tour. Kayla is awesome over there. And everybody was like, "Oh my God, like you guys actually like put some thought into like what you're doing out there." And we're like, yeah, we should do that because science is available, so we should utilize it. Like we're not
Yes.
Harry Potter, it's not all magic.
No,
um,
exactly. Use the
so
force.
yeah, so I mean, we use a lot of JPL research, and then again, Andre Bormanis is like such a wealth of knowledge, and he has so much information on everything and anything that you could ever need. And so yeah, we just do. I mean, coupled with a ton of research and a couple of just like asking some random questions without giving too much away to all of our friends over in the scientific realm of the world. Yeah, I mean, we got some connections that are pretty interesting and mind blowing.
That's pretty cool. I'm sure Seth likes that too because I've heard that Seth loves science and stuff like that. So I'm sure he's probably geeking out all over, going, "Oh wow!"
Yeah, I mean, and even Seth is such a wealth of knowledge too because he works, with the crew over on Cosmos, which is Neil deGrasse Tyson, and so it's really cool to see all the different, I guess, shades of Seth, because everybody kind of knows him as like the Family Guy, but there's like this real, true, honest to God passion for science and exploration,
Mm-hmm.
that like, would I think would be sloughed off in any other like way, but because he's integrated into like who he is and what he does and kind of what he stands for, I think it's really cool. And a lot of people are interested in it because he's interested in it. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah, that is cool because I mean, I obviously am kind of a nerd and everything myself, but the thing is, when I found out about Cosmos, it got me more interested into it. So I can definitely say thank you, Seth. You introduced me more and more into science, where I was curious more about it and to find out, is this scientifically possible? Because people say, well, what's the speed of Orville? And I'll Google it up and everything. They go like, you're so fast, girl. And I go like, thank you, Orville, for helping me nerd out.
Yeah, yeah. No, we definitely do a lot of fact checking on like what is being written versus what we're showing, just to make sure that we don't get caught with our scientific pants down. Because Lord knows we get something wrong and we're like, oh no, we do not want to be up on the
Yeah,
up on.
you don't be going home and going down.
Yeah, no, we don't want to be on trial with Twitter and all of our fans for messing it up. So.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Do you offer any input or on any of the episodes, the characters, the settings that have made their way into the final edits? If so, which ones were they by any chance?
What? Sorry, what was the question?
Like, do you offer any input? Like, say you wanted to make, say, show Yaphet on the TV episode, and everybody's like, I hadn't thought about that, and then it actually makes its way onto the final show.
Oh
Has
yeah,
that anything ever?
there's been a couple things that I've like pitched, and then they like make it all the way through, and I'm like, yeah, I did that. Yeah, I mean, I mean, for most part, our job in visual effects is super like, everybody has a piece of the cake. Everybody's providing their input and their ideas into it, which is what makes it so great and collaborative. So it's not like I don't get credit for like, oh my god, the Mocklin secret planet is purple and blue because I wanted it. Like we all kind of provide different feedback and research and images and kind of just like input into things. There is an episode this season that I was able to kind of take artistic lead on. So I'm excited that maybe that'll make it all the way through, and hopefully it'll look super cool.
Nice. We hope to look for that. Then hopefully, as soon as we can get the A-OK to start watching.
Yeah, as soon as we can make it, it'll be great.
Yes. So, what is one of the craziest rumors that you have heard about the series, or anybody at the cast and crew that has actually made you laugh like crazy, thinking that's so ridiculous? That's obviously not true.
I mean, I think the most recent is like how we're canceled, but we're not.
Oh,
Like how
some work
season
we're
four,
gonna do so
yeah,
many live streams
like how
about that.
season four is canceled, even though we haven't even finished season three. So, like, I mean, who knows,
Exactly.
honestly?
I'm thinking, wait a minute.
But it's just
I don't
so
know how many
funny
people I
that,
have to tell them, you guys have just hit the pause button. You guys have just hit the pause button. You're not canceled. It's still going on. Wait, let
yeah.
season three air first, and then we'll worry about season four and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I mean, there have been times where I've like on in my career I found out that like shows are canceled, and then like I find out on it about like on a Variety article, and I'm like, oh, are we not working? They're like, oh yeah, no, we're done. I'm like, oh, okay, great. Well, thank you guys for letting me know. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one was kind of weird and odd, and yeah, it was really interesting. My favorite part of it was the fandom coming to bat and being like, what? No, you guys are stupid.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think it's always funny how some people that make and like release these rumors that are like wildly fake and not like they're just not true at all. How then like I think the most interesting and like funny part is then reading like the arguments that are being had. Like
Oh, yeah.
we the show don't know what's happening to our own show right now, and like how they have more information than we do, and I'm like, all right, cool, well, let
Yeah,
me
like, tell me how you
let
got
me
this
just pass
information.
this off to you then.
That's true because I kept saying, "Well, what's your source?" Because for one person, I kept asking the person. I said, "Because I love to write and everything like that, and obviously it's always key as a writer. What's your source material?" I said, "What is your source material? What is your source material?" And the person kept saying, "It's true. It's true." I'm thinking, "Well, who are you talking to?"
Yeah,
Name
yeah, we
your
want to know
source.
too. Like, who are you talking to? Because like we're talking to each other, and like we don't we don't think it's true, but
Like,
I
who are
mean,
you talking
who
to? Are
knows?
you talking to John Smith, Jane Doe? Who is it? I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, but no, it's always interesting. It's always interesting to see like like those kind of rumors are like funny and kind of like, "Oh, okay, well, I guess if you know more than my job, then like cool." But I think the other like not as like potentially harmful version is when people uh like when people get arguments about the episodes because of like what a character does or says, and I'm always very
Mhm.
interested to see like why people say X, Y, and Z. Like why will Bortus never sing? Or like why does Claire and Isaac, like why is their relationship gonna fall apart? Like they're very invested in these characters.
Yes, they
And
are.
I guess because I see them outside of character sometimes, I forget that like they portray this like thing that everybody like only everybody sees is like their character. They don't see like the behind the scenes of like, hey Mark, like
Mhm.
what's up? How's life? Uh, so it's always interesting
Mhm.
that like, like, oh, Bortus would never do that because blah blah blah. And you're just like, oh, right, because he's Bortus, not Peter.
Yeah,
um,
exactly. They don't associate them as two separate identities. They associate just
yeah,
one and the same.
yeah, so it's always interesting because we work so closely with the actors and the characters, that it's always interesting to kind of see that like the people that don't have the behind the scenes, like what they think, and like even sometimes like potentially like what we missed. And then there have been times where we have gone back and been like, oh no, like we forgot that, you know this person's an asshole, we can't put them like buddy buddy in the next scene, like crap. So there's definitely been some changes because you guys have eagle eyes, and you guys are the best fandom ever. So
Yeah, we're very meticulous because there's some things that I will catch on there. Like I didn't realize it until I was rewatching it again. I hear Ed Mercer mention Nancy Drew. I said, "Holy crap! You're mentioning Nancy Drew," and I love Nancy Drew.
there's also a lot of times where somebody's like, oh, I see all these like production mistakes, and I'm like, well,
Oh yeah,
actually,
yeah,
like
yeah.
that's a real set. It's not even green screen. So what production mistake do you see? So I think it just goes back to the like it goes back to like I've watched these episodes like 100 plus times by the time you guys see them. And so it's always funny to be like, oh well, I have a good eye for like mistakes. And I'm like, okay, well, you're wildly wrong. But whatever helps you sleep at
Mhm.
night.
Yeah, exactly. Because obviously they're not paying attention. They don't realize that you guys are actually there, and you know for a fact that this is a real set or a real place. Because obviously there's not a real mock list, obviously, but obviously certainly you know where a real place is and stuff that you would
Yeah.
know. So,
Yeah.
so would you consider yourself laid back or are you bossy?
Um, I I feel like I'm pretty laid back. I don't know, but I can be a boss because I am. So I'm
Let them know
very
don't ever elevate me, right?
yeah, I'm fired up for my team's success. So maybe sometimes that comes off as bossy because we do work really hard. And so whenever, obstacle gets in our way where somebody's, doubting us or not giving us the tools that we need, I definitely can pump it up to a 10 and be like, you have no idea how hard these people are working. Like, please help us.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I've definitely like taken a couple on just for the sake of like we have to deliver the show and my team matters to me. So yeah,
Very
I
cool.
don't think that's bossy though. I think that's just doing my
No, that's
job.
just holding your ground, knowing your authority, how to hold your ground. Okay, great. Is there anything that you would want to change about your job? If you could change anything, or you just love it the way it is?
I mean, like if this pandemic could go away, that would be awesome.
That would be great.
Yeah, that would be cool. No, I really like my job. I think that it's one of the few like gigs in the industry that isn't ever the same depending on what show or even episodes, even in the same show that you're working on. Like there
Uh-huh.
is no cookie cutter day in the life of a VFX producer. It's always super different.
Mhm.
and we are one of the few departments and people that get to see the full entirety of the show. We are there from basically conception to screen. We're there, we're kind of helping nerd out when it's being written to make sure that X, Y, and Z matches, the physics of the ships and the planets and the species that we've put into the show and kind of what we help build, and kind of just like to prep it for post when we are asked, heavy hitting questions like, well, would this do this? And then we're on site for shooting. And then once everybody's done shooting, we're still there hanging out, delivering them.
Mhm.
So it's such a cool spot to be in. You get to meet and work with so many people. Yeah, I mean, and you just like everybody wants to be your buddy because we're the ones that are going to make it all come together in the end. So everybody wants to look
Right.
good. So whatever they can do to help us in the back end is always, it's always great to be a part of those conversations and all the planning. So yeah, I think I mean, less stress and more sleep would be awesome, but like who has time for that?
Yeah. What job is stressful? Exactly. What job isn't stressful? Yeah, they're all stressful. So yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not
Okay.
saving
So
lives
what?
over here, so I can't complain. Like I'm just making a TV
Yeah.
show.
Exactly. So what are you looking forward to the most once this pandemic ends and you guys can go back to work? What are you looking forward to the most? If that's it.
I I don't like getting out of my apartment would be nice. um Making sure I fit in my clothes would probably be second. Like um I mean, I miss seeing everybody, because I feel like it's weird that I basically like have an apartment that I spend like 25% of my time in, and I could spend 75% at work. Now I'm spending 100%
Mhm.
time in my apartment and work. So it's like really weird. Like this is probably the most time I've ever spent with like my family and significant others because I'm always at work. So now that I'm at home and at work, I'm spending time with both. And it's kind of a weird like
Mhm.
like
That's
trying
why I
to
say,
separate
wait a
it.
minute, who are you again?
Yeah, but it's been really great because we are remote. I can go up to the Bay Area and hang out with my family, and like make sure that they're doing okay, and then I can come back down to LA, obviously like driving super safe and like sanitizing everything that I touch because um you know my car needs more alcohol on the steering wheel so that I don't catch it. um
As long as it
so
doesn't dissolve while you're driving.
yeah, there's definitely been a couple of times where I've like mistaken like an alcohol wipe as like a tissue and like wipe my face, and I'm like, oh
Oh
my god. I'm
no.
like, well, I don't have it now. Um, but yeah, no, it's been really interesting. But I don't think I could be 100% like comfortable working like this forever. It has
Right.
its pluses and it has its minuses. Yeah, at least like physically being at work, you're like, I'm at work. This is my work time. Now being at home, you're like, and I don't have kids or anything. Like people that have children and all that stuff, like you guys are the ultimate heroes. Like I'm just over here like looking at my dog, making sure he doesn't poop on the carpet. Like so I'm just like trying to get off of meetings to like go take him outside and then like come back. But it's definitely, trying to separate your work environment from your home environment when your work environment is in your home environment. I look forward to the day to be able to kind of separate those again, and see people with, their smiling faces and welcoming hugs. Maybe, I don't know. I'm a hugger person, so maybe everybody else is
Yeah.
excited that I don't have to hug them anymore.
I, yeah, the elbow bumps, they ain't cutting it. I mean, where I am on the East Coast, I'm like, ugh, I don't like the elbow bumps because it's kind of the old fist bumps that we used to do in high school and stuff or something. I'm like, ugh, that doesn't feel right.
Yeah, but I am excited for hopefully safer like working
Right.
environments. Like there's like now it's like, oh my god, you sneeze because you had a tickle in your nose. Everybody's like, go home. Whereas before it was like, yeah, but can you just like stay a little bit longer? Like we know that you're sick, you don't feel good, but like can you just like? So I'm hoping that the health and safety that's come out of this is kept within the working environment so that people do like they don't feel bad for staying at home because they have, you know, a cold or the flu or anything like that, because
Right.
like even if it's not this virus, it's some sort of virus that could potentially, you know, get back out there, and the flu can shut us down, and that's been around for a bajillion years. So I hope
Mhm.
that that's what sticks, but I really do miss my little space family, even though I see most of them every single day. I miss
Okay.
just like seeing everybody, and I don't know, having a real reason to take a shower other than I'm just bored.
Right. Just I'm gonna go out.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Gotcha. One last question. I didn't have it on my list, but it came to mind. We all know about the Orville fan base game. Did you play that by any
Oh my
chance?
gosh, I played one of the first like releases of it, the beta version. Tom was like, "Hey, like check this out." And I was like, "This is the coolest thing ever to hit the internet." Oh my gosh, it's so cool. I unfortunately haven't had time recently to dig in
Right.
there and check out all the new stuff that you guys have, but I like have notifications set for anytime you guys like release anything. The Halloween thing is so cool. So I love kind of just being like a backseat watcher, I guess, and like seeing
Mhm.
how cool everybody else is experiencing it. Hopefully, when I have more time, I can jump back in there and check it out. But I've definitely hopped onto a couple like Twitch situations with Egotastic Fun Time, and just like all yeah, it's so cool. But yeah,
Very
I'm a
cool.
huge fan. You guys and the fan series is so cool too. We have so many talented artists out there that just you guys are keeping us relevant and alive, which is like we cannot thank you enough for doing that, because we know that we've been off the air for so long. Pandemic is not helping, obviously, but yeah, you guys are just the coolest.
Well, you guys are the coolest. I mean, you guys have so much content, and it's only fair that we give back something that been given to us. So I think it's only fair that we do something in return for you guys.
Well, we appreciate you guys so much. And yeah, no, we always when we were on set, we would always be like, "Oh, hey, like, have you seen what this has been like? Who posted this?" Like, you guys might not physically see like, you know, the likes or the comments, but like we talk about it within the office all the time. Just because like you guys are talking about our show, so of course like we have to talk about it. But it's like 1% like, oh, sketchy, and then like 99% like, oh my god, this is so cool, like we have the best fan base ever. Yeah, you guys are just so cool.
You guys are so cool. I mean, that's the way I feel like whenever I see a notification from one of you guys. I get, oh, what are they going to talk about now? What are they teasing us next? So I get so excited.
Yeah, no, I mean obviously Tom is the king of social media, like in keeping everybody up to date on what's happening with us. And he does such a great job to like make sure that like you guys are getting what you want from us, and we're making sure like, and he's making sure that like we know like what's happening. So he's such like a great keeper of all of us in social
Mm-hmm.
media wise. And yeah, I get a lot of really good laughs from some stuff that he finds, because I honestly like, I don't even know how to get into Reddit, but there's some pretty good stuff on there. But yeah, no, he's great. And he gives you guys so much content, and you guys are so great to him and with him. And yeah, he's like the glue that keeps us all floating together.
Alrighty, well, thank you so much, Brooke. This was so much fun. Thank you so much for coming out for this lovely interview. It's been so much fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime. Well, most of the time. Anytime.
Anytime that you're not working, right?
Anytime that we're not super busy. But this worked out perfect. I had a little bit of a
All right,
break,
let me.
and it was awesome.
Right, thank you. All right, I'm going to stop the recording. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that interview with me and Brooke Noska, the Orville producer. And this was so much fun. As you can tell, we had a lot of laughter together. We had a really great time. So thank you, Brooke, so much for watching our videos and also agreeing to do this fun little interview, telling me some fun stories and fun things about you and your experience with the Orville and everything. So it was really great talking with you. So thank you so much. It means a lot to me. Those of you that were watching this interview with me, I hope you enjoyed this as well because this was a lot of fun learning about Brooke and learning about a little bit more about behind the scenes things that go on with the Orville cast and the crew. That it really does take a village to create something so magical and wonderful. So thank you, Brooke, for this. I appreciate that. And if you guys want to check out any other things that I have on my channel, please check them out. Without further ado, this is Alicia or AVP signing off. Bye, everyone. See you next time.